Hi, everyone. This is Aaron, and you are listening to the SoundWords podcast, a podcast about the life and times of today's worship leaders. Today's guest is Angie Jodjana, and we're going to talk about Angie's upcoming recitals, keyboards versus pianos, and how a worship leader can help the worship team members. Thanks for listening. When do you graduate again? When's your graduation?
So I graduate in May of 2019.
Okay, May 2019. So that's coming soon,
Yeah.
right? That's coming
Yeah.
soon. Do you have
Yeah.
a big performance like that you have to do?
Well, so I have, so that's part of the big stress of this semester. So I have 2 senior recitals that I have to prepare for because of my
Okay.
double emphasis. So the first one, which will be in November, is my senior voice recital. So I'm singing approximately an hour's worth of music in total.
Wow.
Well, actually, more like 45 minutes, but
Okay.
the whole thing should take like a little over an hour.
Yeah, that's a lot of singing.
Yeah, I know. I started going through, I think in my last lesson last week, we did like 3 out of the 5 sets of music that I have planned, and it was exhausting. In addition to the fact that I had to sing for the faculty earlier that day to show them that I had like just like one more piece that I needed to perform in front of everyone. And so, yeah, things were crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, it's going to be, so right now, this whole month is really just building up the stamina to be able to perform all that without falling apart at the end. So,
That's in November. I'm gonna write this down.
yeah, November.
November. Do you know the date? I want to go to this.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to go?
November 11th at
November
8 p.m.
8 p.m. Okay. So that's for your vocal one. And then is there another one that you said? You said you have 2.
So at the very end of March, I'm doing a collaborative recital. So I'm playing with a bunch of my friends, a couple singers, mainly instrumentalists though, actually. 3 out of the 5 things that I've planned are all instrumental works. So I'm playing on that one. So that's March 29th at 8 p.m.
Wait, the collaborative one, even though it's collaborative, it's still considered your recital?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's my senior recital.
So what does that mean? Like, does that just mean that they are like backing you up and they are like supporting you, but you're like the highlight of the night? Like, what are you playing? You're playing piano or what?
Yeah, I'm playing piano. So essentially it's like a whole concert of me backing people up.
Oh, you're backing people up.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's not like I'm the star. Like I'm the one who's supporting and collaborating with people, which is what makes it so much more, I guess, appealing in a way, just because like I'm able to bring in like people from all the different departments and stuff. So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Do you get to choose who you're collaborating with?
Yeah, basically. So, and it's funny because like my teacher and I have like tried to be very careful about who we're choosing.
Yeah,
and,
right. I mean, that's important.
yeah, it's super important. But like everyone that I'm working with is a relatively close friend. Yeah, like one of my best friends at school will be performing like a last piece with me. And then yeah, mostly everyone that I will be collaborating with are people that I've gotten relatively close to in college. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. It's a lot of music.
These both sound really fun. Yeah. Okay. So
yeah.
And then for the vocal one, you're singing, somebody's going to be playing piano, I'm assuming, and you're going to be singing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whole different element.
Are you nervous at all for this? Or is it
or
is it just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm excited to perform?
No, I'm because this is, I mean, I haven't, normally the way it works, especially for voice, is that you do a recital, like a shared recital your sophomore year with like 3 or 4 other people. And then you do a junior recital. So you share it with 1 or 2 other people. So you do like half of a recital program, which is 2 to 3 sets. And then so it's like you build up those last 3 years of college up to your senior one. But I didn't do the junior recital last year because I was doing a lot of technique building, like just working on a bunch of things and making sure this was ready. And so having to go from doing 2 sets of like 3 songs to a full recital program is really daunting.
But, yeah, it's a lot. You said it's like an hour of singing, so that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is like I've had the whole year to work on most of the stuff. So like most of it's already memorized. It's just a matter of like making sure I can physically do it. That's like the biggest my biggest fear in singing is really just the physical aspect of it, just because it's and you can't see anything that's happening. You can only feel it. And sometimes like what you feel isn't necessarily, I don't know how to say it, but it's um like sometimes you may feel okay even though you're doing something that might not actually be good for you. And so
Right,
yeah, it's
right.
like, and then plus I go a lot by sonically how I feel like I'm sounding, and I manipulate a lot of things to try and, you know, make it sound this way. And my teacher's like, no, stop doing that. I'm like, okay, I'm trying. But yeah, so I mean, it's pretty nerve wracking, but it'll be good.
I'm assuming you're not doing like pop songs, right? I'm
No,
assuming not.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming like some classical stuff, maybe some operatic stuff.
Yeah, it's all classical.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm doing one opera aria. Well, technically two, but the first one's like it's technically a part of, I don't even know how to go about explaining this. But back in the old day, like way, 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 way old day, it would have been part of like a mass service. But
Okay,
yeah.
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
yeah.
I'm
Okay,
doing
so
one, yeah.
okay, well, I'm gonna mark it on my calendar. Obviously, I want to go to see you. But I don't know. I mean, this sounds like something that I might not ever get to do in my life, to listen to something like this, somebody's senior recital. So, I mean, it's
Yeah.
great that it's you. But yeah, this is a good opportunity. This is cool. This might be once in a lifetime for me. You know.
That's so funny.
I mean, you do a lot of stuff for school, Angie. But I also noticed that you did post something on your Instagram. You're doing hashtag Inktober. Is that what you're doing?
I mean, it's not like official.
I mean, it's
But
Instagram official.
wow. I mean, it's not something that like I totally do all the time, but a couple of years ago, I started getting into like hand lettering and calligraphy and stuff, and per the help of an old teacher's wife, actually, she was the one who kind of taught me, and so from there, I played around with it here and there, and then I through like a joint small group hangout, I discovered like brush pens and how much easier it was and less inky it was.
Yeah,
And it was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
wow, I can do this without ever having to feel like I'm tired or,
Yeah.
it's like super, it just made it super easy. So I had just finished up my homework last night, like when I put that up on Insta, and I was like, just thinking about that song because we had sung it in service on Sunday.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was fitting. It was really cool. I think it's great.
Yeah.
If you didn't do music, do you think that like, I don't know, lettering, brush lettering would be your second art form? What would you consider your other art passion?
Dude, I don't know, because it's so hard for me to imagine my life apart from music.
Oh, that's
Like
true.
in a
Yeah, that's
way,
true.
yeah. And it's kind of a double-edged sword in a way, because it's it's like, yeah, in on one hand, it's like saying it's everything to me. On the other hand, that's like, well, if it wasn't like if this like was if like this thing was like taken away from you, then it's like how would you live and like how would you survive? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
So
I know
it's kind
exactly what you mean. My thinking is like, okay, if I wasn't a musician, then what would I be? You know, and it's kind of like, well, maybe nothing. I don't know.
yeah, no, seriously. I've like contemplated and I'm like, okay, stop thinking that way, just go practice. Like,
Yeah, I know,
but
right? Yeah, don't
yeah.
think too much about.
So, yeah, and I don't know. I've never, aside from music, like I've never really considered myself like a physically artistic person in that way. I mean, I took art classes when I was little, but I was never very good.
The thing is, you have other hobbies and activities though. Like you do what Taekwondo? You do Taekwondo, right?
I used to.
What,
I
you used
have
to?
been long out of the game
What?
since high school. Yeah.
So
I don't do it anymore.
you don't even go
I
to
can't go back
competitions or
to it.
judge anymore.
No, I used to referee.
A ref, yeah,
like,
sorry, not judge. Ref.
yeah, like my first year of college. It's too much stress. I was like, this is so hard. And as a ref, like you get bagged on so much
Oh,
in
I'm sure.
tournaments. And
Yeah.
it's just a really, really rough. I was like, I don't want to do this ever again.
Yeah, so you're totally
hard.
you're totally out of it. There's absolutely no part of you that wants to go back.
I mean, if I had the same body I did when I was in high school, I totally could. But things have long changed since 2014.
I hear
So
you. No, I hear you. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay to move on to different things and
yeah, yeah,
opportunities and passions in life. You totally don't have to stick to one thing for your entire life.
yeah. And I mean, I a lot of my friends who did Taekwondo when I was still doing it, are still like involved in the sport. So I see all their stuff, and it's like I'm living vicariously through them. Like
And that's
they're
good
out
enough for
doing
you. Like
it. Yeah, like I see them doing international competitions. Like, yes, you go. I cannot do that anymore, but you can go and do that. And so, yeah,
quick question. This is random. You like Sherlock, right? Do you like
I
Sherlock?
do.
Do you
Yeah.
do you only like the Benedict Sherlock?
I think that's really the only interpretation I've seen it. I think I've seen clips of Robert Downey Jr.'s version, and I thought it was like I thought he played it well. But there's something about like well then again I went through all 4 Sherlock series
Right,
or
right, right.
all 4 seasons. Whereas with RDJ, I only watched like a little bit of one. I think there were 3 movies, and I think I only
Okay,
watched a little bit of one.
yeah. Okay, so there's 2 Robert Downey Jr. movies. They're
Okay,
making
there were
they're
2.
making a third one, but I do understand what you're saying. Like with Benedict, the universe is way bigger, because it's a mini series, whereas for Robert Downey, it's like 2 movies. You can only squeeze so much in it.
Yeah, I feel like it was more fitting in a mini-series kind of setting, as opposed to just like separate films, I guess, that would create a trilogy, but like it's just not the same to me.
How
Like
did you get into it though? Because I just remember all of a sudden I started seeing it on your Tumblr and I was like, okay, cool, I like that show too. But like, how'd you get into it?
um
Because the fandom's pretty intense. I don't know how much of the fandom you're into, but it's pretty hardcore.
I've seen some of the things, and I'm not that crazy about it. Like
Okay.
I mean it's a good show.
No, yeah, it's
But
great. Yeah.
but then again, this is coming from a person who is very easily entertained.
Oh, really?
Like my friends in high school always used to laugh at me and say that every movie that I watched, I said was good, even if it wasn't that good. And to be honest, still to this day, I don't think I quite can define what a good movie is.
You just know what you like.
Yeah, but in terms of Sherlock, well, actually, it was through a friend from high school who I'm pretty sure it was through Tumblr that I saw she was reblogging all these things, and I asked her about it one time, and she was like, "Oh yeah, and it's really easy to get through because like there's only 4 episodes a season, and there's only like 3 seasons." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Little did I know each episode was like an hour long.
Yeah, it's like a movie.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, it was super intense. I think I finished it all in like one summer
Yeah, that
or
sounds about right.
something.
Yeah, it's totally bingeable. Totally.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't stop. It was so bad. But,
But
yeah.
it's so good. No, it's good. I'm glad. No, okay. So I also do love Benedict Sherlock, but I didn't know the backstory to that. So now I'm glad I know that that's how you got involved in
Yeah.
it. Okay, we talked about this briefly, but you played with Ray on Sunday, right? And so some follow up from our last podcast, I asked you about guitar or piano, but I don't know if we talked about keyboard or piano because for Ray, you played keyboard and you weren't on, the actual piano. So what do you like better?
Honestly, it kind of depends on who you're working with. From an acoustic standpoint, like an actual acoustic piano is more reliable because like it's built for that. It's built to like carry through and to like cut through. Like the instrument itself is made to be able to fill a large place with a lot of sound. Whereas with a keyboard, you're talking about manipulation via the sound team and like what they want to come out more. And personally, my struggle on Sunday was that because I got put in the back, the monitors weren't anywhere near me, so I couldn't hear anything actually.
Okay.
So I was
wow.
going all by ear.
I didn't know that you
like,
couldn't
what
hear
I
anything.
felt was in the house. Yeah, it was hard. And I was kind of like, oh man, it's gonna be rough, like going into it. But I mean, I heard some things from people and they said it was good. So I was like, oh, okay, well, praise God. But I couldn't hear anything. And also I know like it sounds different in the house than it does like from when I'm on stage. And then if you add the element of in-ear monitors, your mix is different from what people are hearing outside. And I've gotten things before where okay in my mix and someone from the audience has told me, oh, we can hear your keyboard at all. And I'm like, Oh, well, and it's like not at that point, it's not up to my discretion. It's really up to the sound people. And also, I think just because, like, on a personal comfort level, like an actual piano is what I grew up playing. I mean, I did a million concerts when I was little, just like little things. And we were always on like actual grand pianos. So
When you play at other churches, do you have in-ears or is it stage monitors as well?
one church I play, it's in-ears. Other places I'd say usually are monitors, just like regular stage monitors.
I'm hoping that for when we get the new Mac that we can try to have in-ears. I'm assuming we have to have our own in-ears because I don't think we want to share in-ears with each other. But
yeah, it's kind of a gross thing.
Yeah, no, it's super gross.
Like you just have to be careful.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunities for the new Mac. It should be cool and exciting. You were playing for Ray on Sunday. I know you play for my team and you also play for your dad's team sometimes. What is it like switching between the different leaders? How do you adjust?
I mean, a lot of it can be seen at face value just from the songs that you guys choose. It's a different kind of like variety and also a different style, like how you want to approach it and stuff. And a lot of it is just kind of, for me at least, it's really just going with the flow and just making sure I'm listening to everyone else and like what the leader would kind of want at certain points and stuff. So that's really all it is. Yeah, I mean, I just kind of just like listen. I depend a lot on my ear in terms of like following people and like knowing what to do and when to do what. So
what do you not like the leaders to do? What's like your pet peeve? Because obviously I don't want to be doing something where you're like, man, I hate it when Aaron does that. So let me know, because I don't know, you're working with a lot of different people. Like I'm sure you have things that you appreciate and then things that you wish people didn't do. So what are some of those things?
Oh man, all the tea is coming out in this podcast. It's crazy. Any sudden changes that I can't anticipate. And I know that seems super vague, but like it's usually nice to have instructions on lead sheets like before I get them. However, I mean, I know sometimes it's not always the case, and like you do have to follow the leader at some point. And then I guess if there are different chord changes, for that to be written out first.
Okay, all right, I'll keep that in mind.
It would just be helpful, because I remember, I think when we played last time, it was like there was a like flat 7 thrown in the middle of nowhere, and I was like, wait, what? I mean, I know you do it a lot, but it was kind of just like, hold up, okay.
Well, no, you're right though. You're right. Okay, let me explain. Sometimes, okay, normally when we go into practice, I have an arrangement in my mind. I think like, okay, we can do this, but the chord sheets on the physical paper, sometimes by the time I print that, I didn't write it out like how I wanted to arrange. I just stuck to the basics, and then
it's fair.
When I have the arrangement, I'm like, okay, maybe we can do this. And then other times I do get ideas as we're practicing, just because I hear things, right? And then it's like, oh shoot, well, we should do this instead. Or like, oh, maybe during this part we should cut out the instruments, or maybe this part should just be piano or something. So stuff like that. Yeah, sometimes it's on the fly. And yeah, you're right. That would be my bad. So I will keep that in mind.
Well, I mean, it's not a totally bad thing. But it would, I think I speak on behalf of all like band members in general. Because I mean, as a worship leader, like I've gotten requests from people to have like the arrangements and just like the lead sheets ahead of time, because what I may necessarily be able to do on the fly may not always be that way for other people. I think I've learned myself also to like be mindful of that. So yeah. And also to like during practice, like communicate, and that somehow, if not, it's always that awkward moment where you have to like stop everyone and be like, okay, wait, here's what we're doing here,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I really just the biggest thing.
I think the other thing too is that I am spoiled in the sense where it's like I'm playing with good musicians, so that way when I call stuff out, you guys can adjust really fast to it. So I guess I'm spoiled because like I just take it for granted, like, yeah, they can do this. No, it's not a problem. But I do appreciate you playing on all the different teams, Angie, and of course I appreciate you playing with me as well.
Oh.
You guys on Sunday, you guys had an arrangement of "'Tis So Sweet to Trust in Jesus." I thought that was an interesting arrangement because the verses were just E and C sharp. And normally when I play it, I'm thinking like, okay, you're going to add more chords in there. So
Yeah.
who was
Yeah.
responsible for that arrangement? Was it Ray? Like, did he get it from a CD?
So Ray, I think he heard Norton Hall's arrangement of it.
Okay.
Who is affiliated with? They're affiliated with I think Southern. Technically, it's like Southern, like Voice or something. They're affiliated with like that whole area. And so, but yeah, so he heard their arrangement of it. He sent us the link. He was like, "Hey, I want you guys to listen to this because I want to try it out on Sunday." Yeah, and I thought it was cool. It was kind of, to me, it felt like very simplified. Because I mean, I know it's a traditional hymn, and traditional hymns, because they're meant for like organ and stuff, like have all these very interesting like chord changes and things like a lot of stepwise motion, and you're anticipating the minor sixth like the whole time. And it was like, I mean, it worked. Like, it kind of gave me a little bit more freedom, I guess, to kind of mess around like during those, because that's like what, 2 bars each chord.
Right. Yeah.
So, but it was cool. I enjoyed it.
When you're arranging songs, do you like finding unique arrangements like that, or do you like sticking to kind of what's basic, or like what you hear like on on Spotify, or do you like making your own arrangements? What do you prefer?
I think as of late, I usually like to stick with what's on the track, just because it's like easier for people, unless if I'm like a band of more than like 3 people, and then plus like singers and stuff, right? So you don't want to keep, well, especially for the band members, like you want to adjust according to the skill level that you have, or I guess like other people that you're working with and whatnot. But for pieces, here, classical musician, sorry, for songs that are generally done pretty frequently, I take a lot of, I guess, from either people I've heard live or things that I've heard, I guess like on Spotify or whatever. Like, I remember one time last year, I was see Matt Redman live in concert, and he wrote like a bunch of the big songs.
Right.
And he did a very stripped down version of "Blessed Be Your Name." And it was so moving and just like very, I don't know, it was so simplistic, but it was also like extremely touching, extremely beautiful. And so I remember one time I wanted to do it that way for offertory, but it was so hard to like find something to reference, because I was like, I didn't record that performance, and like something like that where it's a song that I know people will be familiar with and that they wouldn't mind, like, I guess, like trying something new with it. Then I'll kind of try and like change things up in terms of the arrangement. But I think for main sets of songs, I usually like to stick with like what's on the page.
Okay, so I'm gonna make this about us, and your recording of "Living Hope" is pretty much done. I got the final mix down. Julie Julie recorded vocals, background vocals on Sunday. Actually, we did it after church, and so I've been working on the final mix, and I think it's good. And one thing that Julie did notice was that like she liked how you did this arrangement. She said it's definitely a little bit different than I guess the normal recording. So good job, Angie.
Oh yeah. Well, I think a lot of that was you. I think with some of the chord changes that we incorporated in there, because if not, it would have been totally the same. Like,
well, maybe, but I'm sure your playing style had a lot to do with it too. It was a collaborative effort. How about that?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll put it that way.
Phillips is going to come out close to Halloween, and yours is going to come out close to Thanksgiving. I hope you're excited, because I'm excited for you to hear it. What have you been listening to, Angie? And then I'll let you go.
Well, lately, oh my gosh, what it's been. I mean, study times. I realize like it's really hard for me to listen to things with words, and like reading something and like I'm hearing words. Like I kind of like see, but it's sort of too much info overload for my mind to handle. So usually I do. Lately I've been doing, I've listened to a bunch of Sam Ock, who is this, I know Sam Ock, yeah. So, but he released like, for a lot of his albums he has like only the instrumental tracks, and because I like his style thing, chord things, like I've been listening to those a lot for
very
especially
cool.
during the times that I'm studying. If I want something new and kind of stimulating, then I'll listen to that.
Thanks, Angie. Thanks for that recommendation. Hey, I think we're good. Thanks for doing the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for inviting again.
Thanks, Angie, for being my guest on the show, and thank you everyone for listening. Please, please, please send me your feedback or questions for follow-up. You can even send me any questions specifically for Angie to follow up on, and I'll be sure to get to them in the next few episodes. In the show notes, you'll find links to our podcast archive. And don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, or your favorite podcast player. My website is musicgoon.com. The email address for this podcast is soundwords@musicgoon.com. And you can always tweet me @musicgoon. Thanks. See you soon.